Morning, folks.
What?
So, got those morels yesterday, and they need to be washed out. We also went up to go check my trail camera, and it was a fun drive, but talk about a disappointment. They got up to it, and it said my battery was 100% charged, and I thought, wow, that's a surprise, and my card, doggone bird, and my card was full. And so I thought, well, that's really a surprise. Got back home, the reason why my battery was charged up and the card was full, it never got erased from last time. So, I got nothing on that camera. It's all from back when those eagles and things were up in the snow. That was a very big disappointment. So, nothing to show you on that one. I might put it on here anyway, though, just because the drive was fun. Anyhow, wash these things out and go on to something else for today. We soaked these in water last night with some salt in it. Get the bugs and things out. All I need to really do now is just kind of rinse them off, get the pine needles and things off. Those pine needles were terrible. My pockets were full, my beard and hair was full. Cindy's too. Cindy's greenhouse is the best place to dry these because it's nice and warm in here. We got a bunch of stuff in here gotta get moved. I think these are just flowers here, but the rest of it, I don't know. These are, I think, peppers. What's that say? I don't know what that says. I can read writing, but Cindy's writing's rotten. We got a bunch of tomatoes over there. I don't know what this stuff is. Anyway, we got this old screen door. Makes a perfect drying rack if I can just find a spot to put it. This little rocking chair, I picked this up at a secondhand store in town the other day. I kind of think it's neat. Yeah, it's got sort of an English saddle that's coming apart. I'll have to fix that, but kind of a neat little horse. It says it's made in Poland. I looked it up. They're from the 60s and 70s. Covered in corduroy. Not a huge number of them, but it's enough. We tried drying these in the dehydrator one time, and they really shrink bad. And I was told that's really not the best way of doing that. It changes them somehow. On a window screen seems to work about the best. So, in this greenhouse, middle of the day, it gets over 100 degrees in here. Surprisingly enough, those little turkey chicks like that. You would think it'd be too hot for them. But most of them didn't make it. We're down to, I think, just 3 of them. They're getting big though. They're starting to get feathers and things. We have another one out here. I haven't checked on her lately, see if she's still there or not. It's been sitting on late eggs for a while. They should be hatching out before too long. Oh yeah, she's still in there. Any time now on that one. Amazing how these things shrink up to nothing. There wasn't very many of these that weren't touching this morning. And they're still, I mean, they're still soft. They're not dry yet. They'll shrink even more yet. These little tiny ones, shoot, they're hardly even worth the effort, but they taste good. We managed to get a little bit of firewood, not very much of it, but he'd unload that and split it. But first off, my pump over there with those water pipes has shut off. I guess first thing I need to do is go find out why. It's probably got moss and stuff in the pump, and it's got an automatic shut off when the pressure gets too low. The pump turning off turned out to be just the low pressure switch. If the line gets plugged or it loses pressure for whatever reason, it's designed to turn off so that you don't burn up your pump. Okay, so these prop sticks, I don't know that I really have to have these anymore. On this ground, it's fairly level. One of the ranches I worked on, we always put these prop sticks in there because it was hilly, and if you didn't, the wind would drive them down the hill, even full, and believe it or not, this aluminum pipe would twist up just like a wet towel. I mean, it looked like a rope. It was all twisted around and wrecked the pipe. On this ground, like I say, it's level enough. I probably don't need these. I think I'm gonna leave them out. Put them up here along the ditch someplace. So someone asked about how you move these, if they just roll or what. And they do. This motor is hooked to a set of gears and whatnot that just rolls the whole thing, whole quarter mile of it, and amazing amount of torque on these. You wouldn't think that'd be possible. When they're working, they work pretty good. The trouble is, see how that was kind of snaky a little bit? If you let that get too crooked, they'll break. So you gotta be really careful with that. All that tall mustard weeds along that ditch over there, that's going to put pressure against the pipe and cause me problems, most likely. It's not tall enough yet, but you gotta really watch for that kind of thing. When you start to roll it, you gotta watch both ends and make sure they're rolling. If they stop for some reason, they'll twist in half and break. And if they get too crooked, they'll twist in half and break. So this thing, I just pulled the drain plug out for the gas. There's a little bit of last year's gas in there, and this new gas, boy, it's junk. I'm sure you know, but it'll gum up everything and cause you problems. I'll drain out what little bits left, or only a cup or so, and add some fresh gas. Okay, gas is on. Choke is on. The switch is on. I checked the oil, there's plenty of it. Let's hope this goes. Oh yeah. Tell that mustard weed in the way where that valve is. It should be pretty close. Well, we'll give it a try anyway. Boy, I like this new engine. It's a Harbor Freight Special. It's a Predator engine. A lot of people use them on those snow dogs and things that I built. This one's 6.5 horse. I bought one for my snow dog that's a different brand, but it's the same engine. And I think it's 14 horse. This made all the difference in the world. That pulled up after sitting all winter with one pull. Last year it was more like 50. You'd pull and pull and pull, and it would roll about a quarter of a turn and turn off, and you'd have to pull and pull and pull, and oh, I was getting so mad. My arm was hurting, and well worth getting rid of that piece of junk and getting a better engine. For all the more these things run a day, I mean, the very furthest that I roll these, when I get clear across the field, which it's not a very wide field, then I roll them back. So 20 minutes at most it'll be running, and most of the time it just runs for 3 or 4 and turn it off again. So it should last a very long time. Anyway, go get this thing turned back on. To straighten these, not easy. You gotta go to each wheel and physically pick it up and move it. You can't go very far because they're stiff and they don't flex a whole lot. But if you keep up on it and they don't get too far out of whack to begin with, it's not too bad. If you let them get too crooked, boy, you can't hardly get them back. You gotta walk the line probably 4 or 5 times, moving the wheels a little at a time till you finally get them. Well, it's still a little crooked, but it's better than it was. Anyway, go turn it on. Well, heck, that's about where it needed to be anyway. One more turn maybe, but that's far enough. But see how far this is sticking over. It should be back here. That makes it kind of hard. I'd like to probably take this apart one day and move the whole thing down about 10 feet. So you're not sticking over so far. Then the other trouble I got too is this telephone pole. When I get to that, I got to take a section off and roll it past it and then put it back on. Well, I don't know. It's not a very big field. It doesn't take me that long, but it could be better, easier. Always room for improvement. Okay. That's tight. Okay, turn the pump back on, see if this thing pressures up. So far those drain valves are barely leaking. That's what you want. Those, like I said, the flap type, they last longer than the mushrooms, but they don't seal. They're just not as good a system, in my opinion. Unless you have a lot of water pressure to blow those hard enough to close, they don't. And I don't know. I don't like them. But the mushroom ones, the stems do break off after a while, and they cause you troubles too. But overall, they're a lot better. Here comes our water. Pretty slow. Here we go. That one there is not sealing. Oh, there it kicked on. Or kicked off. Here we go. Okay, well, this is about as exciting as watching grass grow. Without water, though, the grass doesn't grow. So, thanks for watching. I gotta go unload that little bit of firewood and split it, stack it, and move on to something else. It's getting hot already. Kind of happy that it's warmer, but I have a feeling it's going to be downright hot. So, anyhow, see you folks tomorrow. Bye.